Okay, I just picked up this Char-griller Smokin Pro secondhand off of a famous place called Something Something List, and getting ready to do some modifications to it. Also found some issues with it when I picked it up, but the price was right, so hell, we'll make it work. Alright, first thing we're going to do here that I noticed, we got over here to the smoke box. We got a pretty big gap back here, if you notice that. So we want to cut that down. I checked it out. It does appear that it's got a good manufactured lip that goes right across here, but unfortunately it has become twisted. So I don't know if that occurred during transport or whatnot, but we should be able to bang that out and get that back into place there. The other thing I noticed, these guys claim that his buddy was a chef and did all the cooking on it. Well, they must have been chefs, but they sure weren't technically inclined, because if you look, you got a boatload of loose bolts here. They're all loose over here as well. One nice thing I did find out, and you'll see here in the tool portion of it, that everything is 7/16, so that makes it kind of nice and easy to disassemble. I plan on taking the box apart, putting some red RTV on that to get us a good seal, as well as on our chimney snack, the same thing. We'll be using a little bit of the black RTV up on that. Let's see some of the tools that you're going to need. Highly suggest this is just about anything somebody's going to have in their garage or work shed or whatever. First thing, safety first. Get a good pair of work gloves, safety glasses. If you have one, get a ratchet, wrench. Both are going to be 7/16 of an inch. We've got our RTV over there. We've got our heavy-duty aluminum foil that will be lining the inside of the lower portion of the broiler with. We also have 2 thermometers down here. They're about $8 a pop at your local hardware store. Got a 1/2-inch drill bit over here that we'll be needing to use to do the installation for the 2 thermometers that I had purchased. Got a 3-inch piece of automotive exhaust flex pipe, which we'll be using on the stack. As far as tools that you're going to need, we got a 3/8 drill. Yeah, I've got several battery operated ones, but I prefer the corded one here. This way we can get a higher RPM, quicker drill bit through. We've also got the dead blow sledge, which I plan on using on the side door over there. Got a regular hammer, just in case we need a little bit of extra force. Got our hacksaw over here for doing the flex pipe. Got a pair of tin snips down here. I'm going to put a set of baffling plates in here. I picked these baking sheets up over at a local discount place, so I'll be cutting them down, modifying them. And again, that's pretty much where we stand. So here we go for project number 1. Alright, so I got the firebox off. 8 bolts, that's all it takes, 8 nuts and bolts. As soon as I took it off, I went back to the grill itself. Every bolt on this thing, I don't know if you can see now, I've resecured them, but every single one of them was loose. So I was kind of hoping that, you know, that being said, it would true up the firebox, but I took another look once I've got it off, and still got that pretty big gap back there. So I'm going to loosen them bolts up once again in this firebox itself, how it's assembled, see if I can get that to shift any before I start beating anything, because I'd rather have the true finish of the original manufacturers. Also, if you see, I've got the RTV applied here. I'm letting it dry for a couple minutes before I get it on. Not the prettiest, but it'll work. Made sure to go over the bolt holes very good. Also, if you take a look, you'll see a little bit of silver here where that firebox was loose and bouncing against that from moving it. So I made sure to go a little bit heavier over that, just in case we have any issues with the trueness of the grill itself. Alright, more to follow. Alright, we got the firebox off. We've got the red RTV high temp on there. Make sure it's the stuff for 650 degrees. And Permatex is about all I use, but you know, you guys find whatever you can on a local basis. I did get real lucky on this tray deal here. If you look on down here, that seal is way better than it was. Turned out, I'm guessing from transport. The tray itself was just twisted. No hammer involved, just a little bit of body weight twisting it back and forth until we got it into general location to get it done. Next thing I would suggest, if you're not going to paint, that's fine too. I just go on down here, make sure we got a good cleaning of it so we don't have any of the exposed stuff. That'll paint up real nice. Same thing within here. Let's get all this loose stuff out of here. We don't really need that. And let that dry, and once we do, then we can tighten up the bolts completely. Well, like every other home project, you should go think about what you're going to do first before you do something else. So I was going to drill the thermometers in right now, but I figured, you know what, let me get this exhaust figured out in case I got to redo these thermometers, and I'm going to install here on the lid down towards the grill grate area. So I ran into a problem. Being that we live in the northeast region and it's November, I cannot find any 3-inch exhaust hose for a dryer like everyone else is using. So I'm going to have to do this makeshift. I can't get enough flex out of that flex pipe. Cut it to about 8 inches, and then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to actually mount it with the exhaust clamp that comes with it. I'm just going to peen that over slightly, make sure all the metal shavings are clean from that. You don't want that going in your food. And I've got it about maybe an inch, half-inch over the grate area with that 8-inch there. I'm going to pull that all down now. We'll permatex that and mount that permanently, and then we'll be drilling holes for the thermometers. And this way we can get this cleaned out, all the metal shavings, while the permatex dries, and go from there. Here we go. Alright, we have a pretty decent seal on this if you take a peek. Like I said, I've got it peened over. I've got safely all the sharp edges removed from it so that there's no metal filings. Same with down here. And then what I did, a lot of people are doing a little bit differently. I'm doing the RTV actually right up here. I'm trying to get a better complete seal on the inside of the smoker as opposed to the outside. So we'll see how this works. If it doesn't, we can always take it back out. Alright, stack is up on pretty well centered. A little bit of red RTV going around the edges there. We'll see how that seals up. Again, you can use either the red or the black, preferably the red. You know, try to save money, just buy the one tube. Second thing we're going to do now over my neighbor's lawnmower is we're going to start drilling for these thermometers that I bought. Now, if you take a look underneath the lid, you've got about a ½ inch up. You've got that lip there, so you want to make sure you go above that. Took a little bit of a measurement here. Looks like I go with it face backwards. I'd like it right about there, so when it's inserted, it'll be right about there or so, maybe a little bit lower. What you want to do, and we're going to try this from this lip on this side. I'm going to go 2 inches in, and we're going to go 2 inches up. So 2 by 2, drill a ½ inch hole. These are made for ½ inch hole. As you can see, the insert here, we'll put some more TV against that. Same thing over on that side. Alright, and if you look, that's pretty well on there right there. Not exactly the way I'd like it, but it'll work. Okay, got the holes drilled. Safety glasses definitely came in handy for this. It was doing some filings a little thicker than I anticipated. Now the bad thing is, as you can see, I've got this one installed already. This one has yet to go in, and you're going to need a couple of ½ inch washers on the inside to make up for the space that when you go in for the insert for the top of that grill, to make up the difference. Alright, so definitely get a couple ½ inch ID washers, or do what I do and take a couple of smaller washers and drill out the insides. Alright, so here we go with our somewhat completed project of our previously owned Char-griller Smokin Pro. As you can see, modifications have been done. Raise the lid. Went cheap. Didn't have any stainless steel, so I went local. Got some baking pans and made them fit. This one over here is about 17 inches long. And it covers, as you can see, the smoke inlet area. Just take that out again. Actually did went in and out easier. There we go. And charcoal rack, which I'm not going to use for that. I put lava rock on. We got one fire brick. Good luck in the Northeast this time of year trying to find a fire brick. That'll hold my second adjustable pan that we can put water on. Actually, we're going to put a pan on top of the pan with water in it to keep the proteins nice and moist. had the line with the heavy-duty aluminum foil. We've got our exhaust modification, so that'll drop down approximately half inch to the grates of the smoker itself when the lid is closed. We've got RTV, as you can see, that's over here. I took the firebox off and did the same thing up top. If you take a look, bring it on down. We've got our 2 new thermometers on it. I'm not real happy with this. They were easy to install, a half-inch drill bit. They fit perfectly. Had to use some washers on the back for spacers, but I've got about a 20-degree difference between the 2 of them. And smoker has not been put on yet, so we'll get that going for us. Someone did a nice either modification on this or it came like it. I'm not really sure, but we've got some nice grates down here that are actually above the inlet side. Also, I put some lava rock down here at the bottom with a charcoal tray. So hopefully we'll see how this thing fire up and works a little bit later. Well, here we are the night after the cook. I didn't get any pictures because it was dark, but I'll tell you what, man, this thing cooked and smoked some beautiful ribs, chicken. I even did a pepperoni bread on it that was outstanding. Got some really good even temperature across the board. You can see my water pans down there on top of the baffles. That worked out really well. I did get some smoke that was coming out of our thermometer up top, so I would go back and reseal that. Also, you can see I got this thing up on the preheat to about 310, 320 degrees, so we're going to have to repaint that. So definitely use a high heat paint color of your choice on that. I'll be doing that a little bit later, but again, I only got it up that high to get all that Permatex and everything else from earlier done. So there you have it. Modifications really turned out well, and please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. Now that I'm getting new to this, I plan on doing some more how-to and maybe some funny clips later down the road. Thanks for watching. Go Eagles!